Fox Hallow Fam. I'm Dave and welcome to Baking with Fox Hallow Kitchen. Today is January the 8th and that can only mean one thing. It's Elvis's birthday. Today we're celebrating the king with a dessert that I'm sure he would love. We're making peanut butter and banana cheesecake. Believe me, it's as rich and decadent as it sounds. Now, cheesecake can be a little complicated, but I'm going to guide you through it step by step. So if you're ready, then let's have some fun. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is make our crust. To do that, we're going to take 10 graham crackers and just put them in our food processor here. And I'm going to pulse these until I have graham cracker crumbs. And that looks good right there. Next we're going to take our graham cracker crumbs that we just made. I'm going to put them in a small bowl. And mix in a tablespoon of sugar. Just get that mixed in there a little bit. And then I'm going to add to that 6 tablespoons of melted butter.
Now with the butter, do you let that cool a little bit, or do you still have the butter warm?
The butter's still warm. It's not necessary to cool it exactly. Not for this purpose. It'll cool down once you get it into the graham crackers. We're just going to mix it into our graham crackers here to make our crust. Once it's totally mixed together, and then we'll move on to our next step here. Just get all the graham crackers moistened to where they're completely covered in the sugar and the butter. And I think we are good. Alright, we move on. Next we're going to take our graham crackers and put them into our trusty springform pan right here. I'm going to use a fork to get these out. Graham crackers are sticking, that's good. And we're going to press these down into the bottom of my trusty springform pan.
What could the viewers at home use if they don't happen to have a springform pan for cheesecake?
There is not a lot you can substitute for this. Springform pan is kind of necessary for making cheesecake. Otherwise, you'll never get it out of the cake pan. You can try, because the thing about a springform pan is it does have this false bottom, and the sides come off, and then you have the cake revealed. So you kind of have to have the springform pan in order to do cheesecake properly. There's no real way around that. Okay, this looks pretty solid here. So I'm going to leave this go, and we're going to move on to our next step. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take 4 8-ounce packages of cream cheese that I've softened to room temperature. Did it in the microwave. Normally you would leave it sit out, but we did not have time for that today. So we just softened it in the microwave.
How long do you let it normally sit out to get
to a couple hours.
Room temperature?
Yeah, a couple hours.
Now, is it pronounced cream cheese or queen cheese?
It is cream cheese, and you know it is. And we're going to beat this in our stand mixer until the cream cheese is smooth. Okay, that looks like it's getting pretty smooth there. Oh yeah, definitely. And to this we're going to add a cup of peanut butter. Let me get some of this off of the paddle first. We're going to add a cup of peanut butter.
Now, do you have a preference on what type of peanut butter you would like to recommend for everybody at home?
Oh, just smooth peanut butter. You don't want crunchy for a cheesecake. You want smooth everything. But otherwise there's no specific brand or anything like that. Just going to get this all out of here. And then I'm going to add a cup of sugar. 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 cup of sour cream. And then we are going to blend this until it's all together. We're going to have to scrape our sides and our paddle a little bit here. Make sure this gets all mixed evenly. And try this again. Okay, that's looking beautiful. We're going to go on to our next step. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to add 2/3 cup of half and half, or heavy cream, whichever, and 4 eggs. And then we are going to beat this together again to get the eggs all incorporated. Definitely going to have to scrape the sides of this and the bottom. Alright, looks like our batter is done. We're going to pour that into our pan here in a second. And now for our Ask Fox Hallow segment. Today's question comes to us from our #1 superfan, Simon, over in Dublin. What is it today?
What equipment would you recommend that anyone interested in baking should invest in?
Oh, I would say first and foremost, the biggest thing that has been a lifesaver for us has been the KitchenAid stand mixer. That's a great tool. If you're serious about baking, it definitely is a big time saver. Barring that, if you can't afford one, they are quite expensive. Definitely a good food processor. We use our little Ninja here. If you've ever watched the show, we use it a lot. So our little food processor would be a great addition. So next we're going to do our filling. We're going to put it into our pan. I have this springform pan that we've already put our crust in. And I'm going to pour the batter straight into the center of the pan. Let that go all the way to the sides there. And just sort of get it even here. There we go. And we're going to move on to our next step. Next, I've got 2 pieces of 18-inch wide heavy-duty foil here, and I'm going to place my springform pan right in the center of them. It's double foiled, and what we're going to do is we are going to wrap them in the foil. Lift this up around the edges, around the sides, because we're going to place this in a water bath. And what that does is it keeps the cheesecake cooking evenly so that it doesn't crack in the center. I'm going to keep this up around the edges, tight around the edges of our springform pan. Then I'm going to take the whole thing and place it in the center of a large roasting pan. Then I'm going to add about 1 inch of boiling water to my pan in the bottom. Get about 1 inch deep. Then we're going to place this in the oven at 325 degrees for about 75 to 80 minutes until the center is slightly jiggly. Okay, now that this is set in here for about 80 minutes, I'm going to turn the oven off. We're going to crack the door just a little bit if I can get it to stay open, and we're going to let it sit here for another hour to cool in the oven. After this is cooled for an hour, we're going to remove it from the oven completely and let it cool for about another hour or so until it is room temperature, and then we're going to move on. Okay, while our cheesecake is cooling, we're going to make our topping. We're going to start with 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of butter, 1½ teaspoons of cinnamon, and 3/4 cup of half and half. And we're going to heat this over medium heat until it develops a caramel sauce. Okay, now that we have a caramel sauce here, I'm going to add 1 or 2 medium bananas sliced up to our mix. And we're going to saute these bananas in the sauce for about 3 to 4 minutes. Just in the sauce. Alright, our bananas are pretty well cooked in this sauce, so I'm going to remove them from the heat and give them about 10 minutes to settle. Okay, next we have our cheesecake that's completely cooled, and I'm going to take and put our banana slices on top. We're going to cover the top with banana slices. I'm just going to use a fork to get these out and place them on there so that they look even. And we're just going to cover the top as best we can with the banana slices. It's a bit of a project.
Now, do you want to cover the complete top, or?
As best you can. It depends on how much bananas you have. I don't know that we'll have quite enough. Yeah, we probably have quite enough to completely cover the top. But we're going to make a good effort here. See how many we have.
Now, if they don't want to make their own caramel sauce at home, could they use regular store-bought caramel?
I suppose you could use the caramel sauce like that you get in the store for ice cream or something like that. You could probably use it. Now, this caramel sauce has a little bit of cinnamon to it. You don't have to do that, but yeah, you could use regular caramel sauce. Just getting these on here. This takes a little while.
So let me ask you this. What's your favorite Elvis song?
Oh, I don't know.
Since we are celebrating
Elvis's birthday, he actually has a really large catalog. I would say one of his earlier ones. You know, before the white jumpsuit days. You know, maybe one of his earlier hits.
Okay.
Like Don't Be Cruel or something like that. I like the early Elvis.
You don't like the Vegas showman Elvis?
Not so much. I wasn't crazy about that so much. I like the leather jacket Elvis when he was much younger.
Okay. For you guys at home, tell us what your favorite Elvis song is in the comments below. Another question, do you have a favorite Elvis movie?
That's a good one. I think his best acting was probably in his very first movie, which was where he sang Love Me Tender, and he dies at the end. And after that he started making quote-unquote Elvis movies, which are a genre all to themselves. So I kind of like his earlier stuff.
Let's see what the fans at home think their favorite Elvis movie is. If you guys want, put your favorite Elvis movie in the comments also. Oh, that's going to look really neat on top, Dave.
Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to carefully pour the rest of our caramel sauce on top with all the little banana pieces in it. I'll just spread it out here. There's a lot of it. Gently spread that out. And that is good. We're going to throw this in the refrigerator, let it refrigerate for about 6 hours to overnight, and then we'll take it out and cut it. Alright, now that this is chilled overnight, my next step is I'm going to remove the springform pan. The first thing I'm going to do is run a knife along the outside edge to loosen it from the pan. Okay. And very carefully we're going to open this up. And there it is. And now comes the best part, the taste test. So here we go. I'm going to cut off a little bit of the end here. Make sure I get some of that banana and caramel sauce. Oh, that is so rich and creamy. You can really taste the bananas in there. I didn't think you could. And you can really taste the peanut butter as well. So you guys are going to love this. Enjoy. Wrapping up today, I want to thank you all for joining us and encourage you to check out our friends and support channels listed in the description below. But before I go, always remember, good times and good food on Baking with Fox Hallow Kitchen. We'll see you soon.
If you like this video or any of our other videos,
Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons and stay tuned for future shows.